On top of that, that's really affected my life is how I deal with emotions. Now, I do it in many different ways, but the most the most obvious way that I do it is not express them at all. I tend to keep it into myself, internalize it, and let it sit, and completely avoid those issues and just go on with my life. Now, obviously, you can tell that's wrong, because not wrong, but it's a really terrible way of doing it, because they tend to build up as life does. You have to, things just happen. And the way I deal with it, internalizing it, means that it builds up and it doesn't go anywhere until the point where it overflows, and now you have to deal with all these different situations, all these different emotions, and now you got to deal with it in such a abrupt way that it's almost very damaging. It can damage your, you mentally, spiritually, physically, and it can really do a lot of damage. Now, the obvious way of dealing with emotions is to talk about it with friends and family. Well, how I have my friendships or my relationships, whether it be romantically, whether it be through family, relatives, or friends, I keep it to a point where I don't express those emotions. I'm very goofy, very ridiculous. I tend to try to make everybody happy, and I tend to help other people with their emotions, with their problems and their issues. So I direct it all away from how I feel, and I just leave it to the point where, like, I'm happy, oh yay, I'm so happy, when really I'm dealing with so much crap that I feel like I have no one to turn to, and that's really my fault. So, issues have arisen, situations have arisen where I had to finally deal with the issues that I have. So when it got to so much to the point where I lost a lot of things in my life, whether it be certain friends, whether it be certain relationships, I became really reclusive. I became very brooding. I don't talk to people. I tended to be alone a lot, go to random places to just think and look up in the night sky or look at the ocean and try to figure things out. Obviously, that's not good. And it tended to lead me to a place which wasn't really that helpful. So after a while, I tried to find a way of expressing it. Now, I did it through a physical way, through exercise, through martial arts that I do constantly. And that got the physical part of that emotional buildup. It got it out. The anger, the frustration, the rage that a person feels, I got that out. But after a while, the success of that way of expressing emotion didn't last, because I wasn't dealing with the emotion, I was dealing with the effects of those emotions. I tended to realize that I needed to speak to people, but I still have a lot of issues with talking to people about those issues, because since there's so much emotion, whenever I finally talk to somebody about it, I tend to target all that emotion towards that person. Whether they are the reason for that emotion is not the reason. I just focus it on one person, and I feel like I'm targeting them, which is not really the way you want to go about expressing yourself when you are feeling like the person that you can finally talk to, you're yelling at them, you're being angry at them, you're crying, or you're doing all this stuff, and you're not really getting the emotion out. So I tended to not want to do that. So now, how do I express myself? How do I get these emotions out and truly deal with them, so I can finally get to the root of the problem and solve it, so I can get on with my life and really make a change in my life, so I can grow up and constantly grow and be a functioning adult in the real world. So I tended to look around in different places. So then I started looking at vloggers. Through different vloggers that I tend to watch, they seem to be really competent people. They seem to really understand themselves. Whether they do or not is not really the point. The point is that they're able to express themselves and really function well, even though they are bombarded with so many different things that a vlogger really has to deal with. So I try to understand that, and I realize that they have the freedom to express who they are and really get to the meat and potatoes of their issues, because they're able to express all that emotion out. So then I realized that YouTube and vlogging itself is a great way of expressing those instant emotions that you feel, so that you can get rid of them and really deal with issues. So I tended to look at talking to yourself, talking to a camera, as a great psychologist, or a great way of getting rid of the instantaneous emotions that build up with situations. So that's what that's what I want to do with this new series of videos that I'm planning to do. Is not to, get mad at people or target people or purposely demonize a person because I'm feeling a certain way. It is really to vent out and get rid of the unnecessary parts of life, to really get to the true intentions of what lessons there are to learn, what purposes I need to find out about my own life, about any part of life. And by doing this particular video, I'm really starting to figure out what I want to put out in the world and what really is necessary. So I think that's really it from this video. It may not make any sense, and trust me, it doesn't. I'm just rethinking about how many times I've done this video, how many takes of this video, and even the situation I'm putting myself in about how to record this video, really realizing that, man, it's really shitty. So I don't think there's really any real meaning to this video. Really, it's just to express how you feel about it. I just want this channel to be a reason to express something, express how you feel. Not through a post, not through writing, not through typing it on some random blog so that you can express it. No, to be completely unapologetic, to finally get something out so that emotions can finally be released, vocalized, released, not just physically, but mentally expressed out, so you can finally get to what you really need to get to. So thank you for watching, and hope to hear a lot from other people. If not, I'm glad that this is a good way of expressing my own ideas, my own thoughts, so that I can better deal with not only my issues, but have a better handling of relationships that matter to me the most. So again, thank you for watching, and bye.